Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Wait, are you seriously telling me a 1-cent coin, a penny, could be worth thousands of dollars right now, just sitting in your pocket or a jar at home? It sounds crazy, but this is exactly what happened to a regular guy who almost spent it on a cup of coffee, a worn, dirty 2009 Lincoln penny that looked like nothing special, scratched, faded, tossed in with a pile of loose change, the kind you wouldn't even bend down to pick up. He nearly ignored it, until something felt off, something about the design. The back didn't look like the usual Lincoln Memorial, it had this strange scene, detailed, historical, almost like a tiny piece of art hiding in plain sight. That's when everything changed. Because this wasn't just any penny, this was a 2009 Lincoln cent from a special one-year-only series, and not just any version, the rare one collectors are quietly hunting. See, in 2009, the U.S. Mint released 4 different designs to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday, but one of them, the one from Denver, with a specific design and condition, has become incredibly valuable. The version you need to look for shows Abraham Lincoln as a young man, sitting on a log, reading a book, the formative years design, and here's where it gets interesting, most people overlook it because it still looks like a normal penny. But hidden in that ordinary look, could be serious money. Now imagine this, the guy takes that penny, does a quick check, realizes it might be something, sends it in for grading, waits nervously, days feel like weeks. Then the result comes back, high grade, nearly perfect condition. And suddenly, that 1-cent coin, is worth over $2,000 at auction. Yeah, from 1 cent, to thousands, just like that. So how do you know if you have one? First, grab any 2009 penny you can find, check the date carefully, then look under the date for a tiny D mint mark, that means it was made in Denver. Next, flip it over, look for that young Lincoln sitting on a log design, not the building, not the other scenes. This one specifically. Now here's the part most people miss, condition is everything. If your coin looks shiny, sharp details, clean edges, no heavy scratches, that's when collectors start paying attention. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the book, the texture of the log, if those details are crisp, you might be holding something rare. And one more thing, errors. Some of these coins were struck with tiny mistakes, double lines, off-center prints, or unusual coloring, and those can skyrocket the value even more. That's why people miss them, because they're not looking close enough. Right now, there are thousands of these pennies still floating around in circulation, hiding in jars, drawers, old piggy banks, even your car cup holder. And every single day, people spend them without realizing what they just gave away. Think about that for a second. A coin you wouldn't even think twice about, could quietly be worth a small fortune. So before you ignore that pile of change tonight, before you dump it into a vending machine, take a closer look. Because the next penny you pick up, might not just be 1 cent, it might be your lucky break. And here's the wild part, this isn't even the rarest Lincoln penny out there. There's another version, even harder to find, with a tiny detail most people completely miss, and when that one shows up, the price doesn't just jump, it explodes. And almost nobody is checking for it. Top 2, wait, hold on, are you telling me a single penny, just 1 cent, could secretly be worth thousands of dollars right now, sitting in your change without you even noticing? It sounds impossible, like one of those internet myths, but this story is very real, and it starts exactly where you'd expect, with a dirty, worn-out 2009 Lincoln penny that looked completely ordinary. Picture this, a guy cleaning out his car, digging through crumbs, receipts, and loose coins rattling in the cup holder, he grabs a handful of pennies, ready to toss them aside. But one coin catches his eye, not because it's shiny, not because it's rare looking, but because it looks different, slightly older in design, almost like it doesn't belong with the rest. He flips it over, and instead of the familiar Lincoln Memorial, he sees something unusual, a young Abraham Lincoln, sitting on a log, reading a book. At first, nothing clicks, it still feels like just a penny. But curiosity kicks in, and that curiosity changes everything. Because what he found was part of a special one-year-only release, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Pennies, and this one, the 2009 Formative Years design, is one collectors are quietly chasing. Now here's where it gets wild. Most of these coins were spent, ignored, scratched up, lost in circulation. But the rare ones, the ones in sharp condition, with clean details and strong strikes, those are the ones that can turn into serious money. So this guy does something most people wouldn't. He doesn't spend it, he looks closer. He notices the tiny D mint mark under the date, meaning it was struck in Denver. He studies the details. Lincoln's face, the folds in his clothing, the book in his hands, the texture of that log. Everything looks crisp, almost untouched. So he takes a chance, sends it in for professional grading. Days pass, then weeks, that nervous wait, wondering if it's nothing, or something big. Then the result hits, high grade, near perfect condition. And just like that, that 1-cent coin sells for over $2,000. Yeah, from pocket change to a 4-figure payday. Now here's the part you need to hear, because this could be sitting in your house right now. Grab your coins, seriously, don't wait. Look for any penny dated 2009. Check under the date. If you see a small D, you're in the game. Flip it over, you're looking for that exact design, young Lincoln, sitting on a log, reading, not the building, not the other designs. This one. Now slow down, this is where most people mess up. Condition is everything. If your coin looks dull, heavily scratched, worn flat, it's probably just a penny. But if it has shine, sharp lines, clear details in Lincoln's face and the book, strong edges, that's when things get exciting. And don't stop there, look for mistakes. Tiny doubling in the letters, off-center strikes, unusual coloring, these errors can push the value even higher. That's why these coins get missed, because nobody is really looking. They see a penny, and they move on. Meanwhile, collectors are scanning rolls, searching jars, checking every single coin, because they know what's hiding in plain sight. Right now, there are still thousands of these out there, mixed into everyday change. Think about that. The next time you get coins back at a store, the next time you hear that clink in your pocket, you could be holding something worth way more than 1 cent. But only if you actually check. Because once these get found, once collectors lock them away, they disappear, and the value only goes up. And here's the part that should really make you stop everything and look right now. There's another 2009 penny, even rarer than this one, with a tiny detail so easy to miss, almost invisible unless you know exactly where to look. And when that coin shows up, we're not talking thousands, we're talking numbers that don't even feel real for a penny. And the craziest part, people are still spending it every single day, without even realizing what they just lost. Top 3, wait, stop for a second, are you seriously telling me that a weird little dollar coin, the one most people confuse with a quarter, could actually be worth thousands of dollars today? Yeah, that exact coin people ignore, toss in drawers, or mistake for spare change, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. It doesn't look impressive, it's small, kind of dull, not even shiny like older silver coins, and honestly, most people don't even like it. But that's exactly why this story is so crazy. Because one man almost gave his away without thinking. He got it as change from a vending machine, glanced at it, thought it was just another odd-looking dollar, and nearly spent it the same day. But something felt off. The edge, the shine, the tiny details, it didn't quite match the others he had seen. So instead of spending it, he held onto it, took a closer look under a lamp. And that simple decision changed everything. Because what he had wasn't just any 1979 Susan B. Anthony coin. It was a rare variety, one of the most overlooked in U.S. coin collecting. Now picture the coin in your hand. Small, almost the size of a quarter, but slightly thicker, with a silver-colored surface. On the front, you see Susan B. Anthony's profile, sharp nose, tied back hair, strong expression. Flip it over, and there's an eagle landing on the moon, wings stretched wide, just like the Apollo mission insignia. Looks normal, right? That's what everyone thinks. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these 1979 coins were struck with a tiny difference, something so subtle, most people never notice it. It's called the wide rim variety, also known as the near date. And if you miss this detail, you miss the money. So here's exactly what you need to do, right now. Grab any 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar you can find. Look at the front, focus on the date. Now pay attention to the spacing between the numbers and the rim of the coin. If the date looks far away from the edge, that's the common version, nothing special. But if the date looks almost pressed up against the rim, like there's barely any space, that's the wide rim. That's the one collectors go crazy for. Now imagine this, the guy compares his coin, leans in closer, heart starts racing. The date, it's right up against the edge. No big gap, no extra space. He double checks, again, and again. And suddenly, that weird dollar coin doesn't feel so ordinary anymore. So he sends it in for grading, waits, refreshes his email over and over. Then the result comes back. High grade, rare variety confirmed. And that $1 coin sells for over $3,000. $3,000, from something most people wouldn't even pick up off the ground. That's the reality. These coins get missed every single day, because people don't know what to look for. They think all Susan B. Anthony dollars are the same. They're not. And the scary part, you might have one sitting in a drawer right now. Check your old coin jars, check your parents' collections, check that random box in the closet. Because these coins aren't gone, they're just hiding. And once collectors find them, once they're locked away, the chance disappears. That's why this matters right now. Because the difference between $1 and thousands is literally a tiny gap near the date. Miss it, and you lose it. Spot it, and you might just hit one of the easiest coin finds out there. And here's the part that should really make you pause before you scroll away. There's another version of this same coin, even rarer, with a mint mark detail that almost nobody checks. And when that one shows up, the price doesn't just jump, it explodes into numbers that don't even make sense for a coin this small. And people are still spending it, every single day, without even realizing what they just gave away. Top 4, wait, are you telling me a regular 25-cent coin, a quarter you might have spent this morning, could secretly be worth thousands of dollars right now? Sounds unreal, but this is exactly what's happening with one of the most overlooked coins in America, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. Yeah, that one, the coin with the tree on the back, the one you've probably seen 100 times and never thought twice about. It looks ordinary, worn down, maybe a little scratched, just another quarter mixed in with the rest. But that ordinary look is exactly what's fooling people. Because one woman almost spent hers at a gas station, without ever realizing what she was holding. She got it as change, tossed it into her purse, and forgot about it for weeks. Until one night, she dumped out her coins on the table, just clearing space, not treasure hunting, not expecting anything. And there it was, that Connecticut quarter. At first glance, nothing special. But something caught her attention, the details on the tree looked different, almost doubled, slightly blurry, like the design had shifted. She leaned in closer, heart starting to race. Because what she was seeing wasn't damage, it was a minting error. And that's when everything changed. See, the 1999 Connecticut quarter features the famous charter oak tree, strong branches, deep roots, a symbol of history. But on some rare coins, there's a striking error, known as doubling, where parts of the design appear duplicated, especially in the leaves, the trunk, or even the lettering. Most people miss it, because they think it's just wear, or dirt. But collectors, they know better. So she did what most people wouldn't, she didn't spend it, she checked it, carefully. She looked at the words, Connecticut, the date, 1999, the branches of the tree. And there it was, clear doubling, not huge, but visible. So she sent it in for grading, waited, nervous, unsure if it was real or just wishful thinking. Then the result came back. Verified error, high condition. And that 1/4, sold for over $3,000. $3,000, from 25 cents. That's not a typo, that's real money. Now here's the part you need to pay attention to, because this could be sitting in your house right now. Grab any 1999 quarter. Check the back, you're looking for that large tree, spreading branches, filling the center of the coin. Now don't rush, slow down and really look. Focus on the leaves, do they look doubled, slightly shadowed, like there's a second image underneath? Check the lettering, especially Connecticut and E pluribus unum. If the letters look thick, or slightly duplicated, that's a huge sign. Now flip it over, check the front too, sometimes doubling shows up there as well. And here's the key, condition matters. If your coin still has shine, sharp edges, clean details, that's when the value can explode. Even small errors, in the right condition, can mean serious money. That's why people are missing these. They're not looking closely, they're not expecting a quarter to be worth anything. So they spend them, every single day. Meanwhile, collectors are searching, rolling through bank coins, checking every single quarter like it's a lottery ticket. Because they know, one small detail, one tiny doubling, can change everything. And here's the crazy part, there are still thousands of these out there. Sitting in jars, hiding in drawers, mixed into everyday change. Which means right now, as you're watching this, you could already have one. You just haven't looked yet. So don't wait, check your coins tonight, check that old jar, check your wallet. Because the difference between 25 cents, and thousands of dollars, could be sitting right in front of you. And once people start finding them, once they disappear into collections, your chance is gone. But listen, this isn't even the craziest part. There's another state quarter, even rarer than this one, with a hidden error so subtle, most people will never notice it. And when that coin shows up, we're not talking thousands anymore, we're talking numbers that sound completely unbelievable for a single quarter. And it's still out there, waiting to be found, probably in someone's pocket right now. Top 5, wait, are you seriously telling me a big old dollar coin, the kind people ignore because it feels bulky and outdated, could actually be worth thousands of dollars right now? Yeah, that heavy, oversized coin you might have sitting in a drawer somewhere, the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar. Most people don't even like it, it's too big, too clunky, not something you'd carry around, so it ends up forgotten, tossed into jars, hidden in old boxes. But that's exactly why this story is so insane. Because one guy almost traded his for a soda. He found it while cleaning out his grandfather's old toolbox, covered in dust, dull, looked like it had been sitting there for decades. At first glance, nothing special, just a commemorative coin with a strange dual date. 1776, 1976. He almost shrugged it off, until he flipped it over. And that's when something caught his eye. Instead of a simple design, there was a detailed scene, the Liberty Bell, with the moon behind it, bold, iconic, unlike any regular dollar coin. It felt different, important. So instead of spending it, he held onto it, took a closer look under better light. And that small decision changed everything. Because this wasn't just any Eisenhower dollar. This was part of a special bicentennial release, and hidden within these coins, are rare versions collectors are constantly searching for. Now picture it clearly in your hand. Large, heavy, silver-colored, with Dwight D. Eisenhower's profile on the front, strong features, bold lettering. Flip it over, and you see that Liberty Bell in front of the moon, sharp lines, deep contrast. Looks common, right? That's what everyone thinks. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins were struck in 40% silver, not the regular copper nickel. And others have rare minting errors, or incredibly high-quality strikes that push their value way up. So here's exactly what you need to do, right now. Grab any 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar you can find. First, check the edge of the coin. If you see a solid silver-colored edge, no copper stripe, that's your first big clue. Because silver versions don't show that brownish line you see on regular coins. Next, look for the mint mark, just below Eisenhower's neck. If you see an S, that's huge, that means it was struck in San Francisco, where many of the silver coins came from. Now slow down, don't rush this part. Look at the surface, does it have a soft, slightly matte shine, almost different from regular coins? Check the details, the Liberty Bell, the moon, the lettering. If everything looks sharp and clean, you might have something special. Now imagine this, the guy notices the edge, no copper line. His heart starts pounding. He checks the mint mark, there it is, an S. He compares it online, realizes what he might be holding. So he sends it in for grading, waits, nervous, second-guessing everything. Then the result comes back. 40% silver, high grade, collector quality. And that old dusty coin sells for over $4,000. 4,000, from something that was sitting in a toolbox. That's the reality. These coins get ignored every day, because people don't know what to look for. They think they're all the same. They're not. And right now, there are still thousands of these hiding in plain sight. In old collections, inherited boxes, forgotten drawers. Which means you could already have one, and not even realize it. So don't wait, check your coins tonight, seriously. Look at the edge, check that mint mark, study the details. Because the difference between $1 and thousands is hidden in tiny details most people never notice. And once these are found, once collectors lock them away, they're gone. But here's the part that should really make you stop scrolling. There's another Eisenhower dollar, even rarer than this one, with a tiny variation so subtle, almost invisible. And when that coin shows up, the value doesn't just rise, it explodes into numbers that don't even feel real. And the craziest part, people are still spending it, every single day, without ever knowing what they just lost. Top 6, wait, hold up, are you telling me a heavy old dollar coin from the 1970s, something people literally ignore or leave in drawers, could actually be worth thousands of dollars today? It sounds unbelievable, but this is exactly what's happening with a coin most people don't even look at twice, the 1974 D. Eisenhower dollar. Yeah, that big, bulky coin with Dwight D. Eisenhower on the front, the one that feels more like a paperweight than money. Most people see it and think, old coin, probably nothing special, and they move on. But that's the mistake. Because one man almost spent his without ever knowing what he had. He found it in a jar of mixed coins at a yard sale, dusty, scratched, just tossed in with everything else. He paid a few dollars for the whole jar, not even thinking about the value. Later that night, he started going through the coins, not expecting anything, just curious. And then he picked it up. The size caught his attention first, heavy, solid, different from modern coins. He flipped it over, saw the eagle landing on the moon, bold design, powerful. Still, nothing screamed valuable. But something felt off. The surface, the shine, the details, it looked sharper than the others, almost like it hadn't really been used. So instead of tossing it aside, he looked closer. And that one decision changed everything. Because this wasn't just any 1974 D. Eisenhower dollar. This was a rare high-grade strike, possibly even carrying subtle minting details collectors search for. Now imagine the coin in your hand. Large, silver-colored, with Eisenhower's profile on the front, strong jawline, clean lettering. Under the date, a tiny D, that's your Denver Mint mark. Flip it over, and there's the eagle, wings spread, descending onto the moon, Earth floating in the distance. Looks common, right? That's exactly why people miss it. Because the value isn't in being flashy, it's in the details. So here's what you need to do, right now. Grab any 1974 Eisenhower dollar you can find. First, check under the date, you need that small d, that's step 1. Next, look at the condition, and slow down here. If your coin looks worn out, scratches everywhere, faded details, it's likely just face value. But if it has shine, strong luster, sharp edges, clear features on Eisenhower's face and the eagle, that's when things get interesting. Now look even closer. Check the lettering. Liberty. In God we trust, are they crisp, or do you see slight doubling or thickness? Look at the eagle's feathers, are they sharp, or slightly blurred in a strange way? Because some of these coins have subtle errors, and those errors are where the money is. Now imagine this, the guy compares his coin to others online. His heart starts racing. The details match, the condition looks strong, better than most. So he sends it in for grading, waits, checks his email every day. Then finally, the result comes in. High grade, collector quality. And that $1 coin sells for over $3,000. $3,000, from something sitting in a random coin jar. That's the reality. These coins are hiding in plain sight. People don't check them, they assume they're all the same. But they're not. And right now, there are still thousands out there, sitting in drawers, boxes, inherited collections. Which means you could already have one, and not even know it. So don't wait, seriously, go check your coins. Look for that 1974 date, that D mint mark, that sharp condition. Because the difference between $1 and thousands is hidden in details most people completely ignore. And once collectors find them, once they're gone, they're gone. But here's the part that should really make you stop everything. There's another Eisenhower dollar, even rarer than this one, with a tiny variation so subtle, almost nobody spots it. And when that coin shows up, the value doesn't just climb, it explodes into numbers that sound absolutely unreal. And the craziest part, it's still out there, being passed around, spent every single day, waiting for someone to finally notice. Top 7, wait, are you seriously telling me a gold $1 coin from the year 2000, the kind people ignore or mistake for tokens, could actually be worth thousands of dollars today? Yeah, that small golden coin you've probably seen, maybe even spent without thinking, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar. Most people don't even realize what it is, they think it's just another failed dollar coin, too light, too modern, not real gold, nothing special. And that's exactly why this story is so crazy. Because one woman almost dropped hers into a vending machine. She got it as change at a grocery store, tossed it into her bag, forgot about it for days. Later, while cleaning, she noticed it, that soft golden color, slightly different shine. She picked it up, flipped it over, saw Sacagawea carrying her child, detailed, calm, powerful. Still, it felt like just a dollar. But something didn't sit right. The color looked richer, almost deeper than the others she had seen. So instead of spending it, she looked closer. And that tiny moment of curiosity changed everything. Because hidden among millions of these coins are ultra-rare versions that collectors go absolutely crazy for. Now picture it clearly. Small, round, golden-colored, smooth edge. On the front. Sacagawea, baby on her back, wind in her hair. On the back, an eagle soaring, wings stretched wide, surrounded by stars. Looks ordinary, right? That's the trap. Because the real value isn't obvious, it's hidden in tiny details most people never check. So here's what you need to do, right now. Grab any 2000 Sacagawea dollar you can find. First, look under the date. You need that small P mint mark, that means Philadelphia. Now flip it over, and slow down here. Look closely at the eagle's tail feathers. Do you see bold, sharply separated lines, or do they look smooth and blended? Because the rare version, the one collectors hunt, has enhanced tail feather details, often called the Cheerios variety. And if you spot that, everything changes. Now check the surface. Does it have a rich golden glow, almost brighter and more detailed than normal? Look at the edges of the design, crisp, clean, strong lines. That's where the value starts to climb. Now imagine this, the woman compares her coin online. Her hands start shaking. The feather details match, the shine looks right. She sends it in for grading, waits, refreshing her phone again and again. Then the result comes back. Rare variety confirmed, high collector demand. And that $1 coin sells for over $5,000. $5,000, from something most people wouldn't even look at twice. That's the reality. These coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight. In wallets, jars, old drawers, mixed in with everyday change. And people keep spending them, because they don't know what to look for. That's why this matters, right now. Because the difference between $1 and thousands is hidden in tiny feather details almost nobody checks. So before you ignore that golden coin again, stop, look closer. Check the date, the mint mark, the feathers, the shine. Because once these are found, once collectors grab them, they disappear. And your chance is gone. But here's the part that should really make you think twice before spending any coin again. There's another Sacagawea dollar, even rarer than this one, with a minting detail so subtle, almost invisible. And when that coin shows up, the value doesn't just jump, it explodes into numbers that sound completely unreal for a single dollar. And right now, it's still out there, quietly passing from hand to hand, waiting for someone to finally notice. Top 8, wait, are you telling me a 50-cent coin, the one people ignore because nobody even uses half dollars anymore, could actually be worth thousands of dollars right now? Yeah, that big shiny coin sitting in drawers, forgotten in old collections, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar. Most people think it's just a cool-looking commemorative piece, nothing more. It's big, a little flashy, but still, just 50 cents, right? That's what everyone believes. And that's exactly why this story is so unbelievable. Because one guy almost spent his at face value. He got it as change from a small shop, didn't even expect it, just tossed it in his pocket. Later that night, he emptied his pockets onto the table, keys, coins, random stuff. And there it was, that half dollar. At first glance, nothing special, just a dual date. 1776 to 1976, a little different, but still just a coin. But something caught his eye. The shine, the weight, the way the light hit the surface, it felt different. So instead of ignoring it, he picked it up, looked closer. And that small moment of curiosity changed everything. Because this wasn't just any Kennedy half dollar. This was part of a special bicentennial release, and hidden among millions of these, are rare versions collectors are constantly searching for. Now picture it clearly. On the front, John F. Kennedy, bold profile, clean lines, the word Liberty stretching across the top. Underneath, that dual date. 1776 to 1976. Flip it over, and instead of the usual eagle, you see Independence Hall, detailed, historic, powerful. It looks special, but still common enough to ignore. And that's where people make the mistake. Because the real value is hidden in tiny details. So here's what you need to do, right now. Grab any 1776 to 1976 Kennedy $50 you can find. First, check the edge of the coin. If you see a solid silver-colored edge, no copper stripe, that's your first big clue. Because some of these were struck in 40% silver, and they don't show that brownish line. Next, look for the mint mark. You might see a small S, or no mark at all. Now slow down, this part matters. Check the surface, does it have a deep, almost mirror-like shine, or a soft satin glow? Proof coins, especially from San Francisco, can be extremely valuable in high condition. Now look closer. Check the details of Independence Hall, the windows, the lines, the lettering. Are they sharp, or do you notice doubling, slight overlaps, thicker lines than usual? Because some of these coins have minting errors, and those errors can send the value skyrocketing. Now imagine this, the guy checks the edge, no copper line. His heart skips. He sees the S mint mark. The coin looks almost untouched. So he sends it in for grading, waits, nervous, unsure if it's real. Then the result comes back. 40% silver, high-grade proof, collector demand through the roof. And that 50-cent coin sells for over $4,000. $4,000, from something people barely even use anymore. That's the reality. These coins are hiding everywhere. In old jars, inherited collections, forgotten boxes in closets. And people keep ignoring them, because they think they're all the same. But they're not. And right now, there are still valuable ones out there, waiting to be found. Which means you could already have one, sitting somewhere in your home. So don't wait, check your coins tonight. Look at the edge, the mint mark, the shine, the tiny details. Because the difference between 50 cents, and thousands of dollars, is hidden in things most people never even notice. And once collectors find them, once they're locked away, your chance disappears. But here's the part that should really make you stop and think. There's another Kennedy $50, even rarer than this one, with a tiny variation so subtle, almost invisible. And when that coin shows up, the value doesn't just climb, it explodes into numbers that don't even sound real. And right now, someone, somewhere, is holding it, and has no idea what they've got. Top 9, wait, are you seriously telling me a worn-out 50-cent coin from 1967, something people barely even look at anymore, could secretly be worth thousands of dollars today? It sounds insane, but this is exactly what's happening with one of the most overlooked coins in America, the 1967 Kennedy $50. Yeah, that big silver-looking coin you might have seen in an old jar, or tucked away in a drawer, the one people assume is just old change. It doesn't scream rare, it doesn't shine like gold, and honestly, most of them look a little worn. But that's exactly why people miss them. Because one man almost spent his at face value, without ever knowing what he had. He found it while sorting through his late father's coin tin, nothing organized, just a pile of mixed coins. Pennies, nickels, a few quarters, and then, that $50. He picked it up, flipped it over, saw John F. Kennedy on the front, familiar, nothing shocking. But something felt different. The weight, the sound it made when it hit the table, a deeper metallic ring. So instead of tossing it back, he looked closer. And that one decision changed everything. Because this wasn't just any $50. The 1967 Kennedy $50 was made with 40% silver, something most modern coins don't have. But here's where it gets crazy. Some of these coins, especially in high condition or with rare errors, have sold for thousands of dollars. Now imagine the coin in your hand. Large, smooth, silver-toned, with Kennedy's sharp profile on the front. The word Liberty across the top. In God We Trust, below. Flip it over, and you see the presidential seal, eagle with a shield, arrows and olive branch, surrounded by stars. Looks ordinary, right? That's the illusion. Because the real value is hiding in details most people never check. So here's what you need to do, right now. Grab any 1967 Kennedy half-dollar you can find. First, check the edge of the coin. Do you see a solid silver color, or a copper stripe running through the middle? If it looks mostly silver, that's because of the 40% silver content, and that already gives it extra value. Now slow down, this is where it gets interesting. Look at the surface. Does it still have shine, strong luster, or does it look completely worn out? Coins with sharp details, clean lines, and minimal scratches can be worth much more. Now look even closer. Check the lettering. Liberty. In God We Trust, do you see any doubling, slight shadows, thicker lines? Look at Kennedy's hair, the eagle's feathers, the stars. If anything looks doubled, off-center, or unusual, you might be holding a rare error coin. Now imagine this, the man compares his coin online. His heart starts racing. The details look sharper than most, the condition better than expected. So he sends it in for grading, weights, checking every day. Then finally, the result comes back. High grade, collector demand. And that 50-cent coin sells for over $2,000. $2,000, from something sitting in an old coin tin. That's the reality. These coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight. In jars, drawers, family collections, even mixed in with loose change. And people keep ignoring them, because they think they're just old coins. But they're not. And right now, you could have one, and not even realize it. So don't wait, check your coins tonight. Look at the edge, the shine, the tiny details. Because the difference between 50 cents, and thousands of dollars, is hidden in things most people never notice. And once collectors find them, once they disappear into collections, your chance is gone. But here's the part that should really make you stop everything and look again. There's another Kennedy half-dollar, even rarer than this one, with a tiny variation almost nobody checks. And when that coin shows up, the value doesn't just rise, it explodes into numbers that sound completely unreal. And right now, it's still out there, being spent, passed around, waiting for someone to finally notice. Top 10, wait, are you seriously telling me a tiny little dime, just 10 cents, could secretly be worth thousands of dollars right now? It sounds ridiculous. I know, because who even looks at dimes anymore? They're small, easy to ignore, they disappear into couch cushions, car seats, jars full of loose change. But that's exactly why this story is so wild. Because one of the most overlooked coins in America, the 1967 Roosevelt dime, has turned ordinary people into unexpected winners. And one guy almost missed it completely. He was counting coins late at night, just trying to roll them up for the bank, nothing exciting, just routine. Pennies, nickels, quarters, and then a handful of dimes. He nearly poured them all into a roll, without even looking. But one coin slipped, hit the table, spun, and something about it caught his eye. It looked different. Duller, heavier somehow, not as bright as the others. So he picked it up, flipped it over, saw Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front, familiar face, nothing unusual. But that feeling, that something was off, wouldn't go away. So instead of ignoring it, he leaned in closer. And that one moment, changed everything. Because this wasn't just any 1967 dime. Now here's what you need to understand. 1967 was during a time when the U.S. Mint removed silver from dimes, switching to a copper nickel clad. So most 1967 dimes are not silver. But a few, somehow, were struck on leftover silver planchets. And those coins are insanely rare. Now imagine holding the coin. Small, thin, with Roosevelt's profile on the front, the word Liberty along the edge. Flip it over, and you see the torch, olive branch, oak branch, clean and simple. Looks normal, right? That's the trick. Because the difference between 10 cents and thousands is hidden in something you can spot in seconds. So here's what you need to do, right now. Grab any 1967 dime you can find. First, check the edge of the coin. This is the most important step. If you see a copper stripe running through the edge, that's a normal clad coin. But if the edge is completely silver, no brown line at all, stop right there. That's your first major clue. Now hold it under light. Does it have a soft, grayish silver glow, different from modern coins? Does it feel slightly heavier, more solid? Now look closer at the details. Check Roosevelt's hair, the torch, the lettering. If the coin also has sharp details, minimal wear, or even strange doubling or errors, the value can skyrocket. Now imagine this, the guy notices the edge, no copper stripe. His heart starts pounding. He weighs it, compares it, everything matches a silver dime. So he sends it in for grading, waits, barely sleeping, checking updates constantly. Then the result comes back. Struck on a silver planchet, rare transitional error. And that tiny dime sells for over $5,000. 5,000 from 10 cents. That's not hype, that's real. And here's the scary part. People are still spending these, every single day. Because they don't check the edge, they don't notice the difference. They see a dime, and that's it. Meanwhile, collectors are searching every roll they can find, because they know what's hiding in plain sight. Right now, there could be one sitting in your house. In a jar, a drawer, your wallet, even your car. So don't wait, seriously, go check your dimes. Look at the date, check the edge, study the color. Because the difference between 10 cents and thousands of dollars is just one tiny detail most people completely ignore. And once these are found, once they disappear into collections, your chance is gone. But here's the part that should really make you stop and look again. There's another Roosevelt dime, even rarer than this one, with a microscopic detail almost nobody notices. And when that coin shows up, the value doesn't just jump, it explodes into numbers that sound completely unreal for something this small. And right now, someone, somewhere, is about to spend it, without ever knowing what they just lost.